Top 10 terrible referee calls by Herb Dean.
Herb Dean has long been known as the gold standard for referees in MMA.
Shocked that Herb Dean let the fight.
Still is. He still is by far the best referee in my opinion.
Letting the fight go on for too long.
Stop the fight! Herb Dean is encouraging Stop to carry on.
And while he's not as controversial as Mario Yamasaki or Steve Mazzagatti, Dean still produces shocking moments now and then.
Herb Dean comes in and stops the fight.
I would never want to fight if I knew Mario Yamasaki. What the fuck is his?
And while he's not as controversial as Mario Yamasaki or Steve
Mario
Mazzagatti,
Yamasaki, I would never
shocking moments now and
want to fight if I knew he was going to be reffing my fight. Even if I was confident that I was going to win, because if somehow I was going to lose, or if I was losing, I'm probably just going to die. Like
that.
Herb Dean comes in and stops the fight. Or is that the end of the round? Stand by. That is the end of the round.
That leave MMA fans scratching their heads.
It's not over.
Come on!
It's not over.
Stop the fight! That's the second time now, Dan.
That's 2 times.
that wasn't that bad.
So here are 10 of the worst stoppages by Herb Dean.
I normally like Herb Dean, but that was a big mistake on his part right there.
Surprise, surprise! The king is back.
Robbie Lawler vs. Ben Askren. Now,
Oh
this
my
one
God,
was
this was
arguably one of the
terrible.
most questionable calls of Herb Dean's career.
This was really one of the only terrible calls I've seen Herb make. Like, yeah, that one was bad. This one's bad.
particularly because everyone wanted to see Ben Askren get his butt whooped, and it almost happened. At UFC 235, former UFC welterweight champion Robbie Lawler took
He did get whooped.
on promotional newcomer and self-proclaimed welterweight GOAT Ben Askren in a clash of legends. The former UFC welterweight champion's arms apparently went limp, or did it?
He's out! He's out! Ben Askren submits
And Robbie is just there. Oh my God. How fucking... That would be so...
Choking, it was on his head and it was not on the blood. Oh no. That was a bad stoppage.
Some said it was a fair stoppage, while others begged to differ. And this is what Herb Dean had to say.
Nobody's going to know whether he was conscious or unconscious. What I saw everything that would indicate I'm seeing an unconscious fighter. I see an arm go limp for no reason whatsoever. With that same situation, with an arm going limp, with that type of a choke on someone, I don't see that I should do something different.
The Luke Rockhold vs. Chris Weidman.
Yeah, like, at least he did his due diligence. Like, he checked it, like, his arm was limp. I mean, it sucks, but that one was tough because Robbie Lawler was destroying Ben Askren in that fight, and then he just got him in like a little chokehold, and then that was it.
Stoppage wasn't debatable, however. Luke Rockhold vs. Chris Weidman. Weidman was on top of the world following his middleweight title win against Anderson Silva and 3 title defenses when he faced former Strikeforce middleweight champion Luke Rockhold in 2015. It was a high-level fight between world-class athletes.
I remember
in their
this
primes,
one.
so it was naturally competitive. However, the tide shifted in Rockhold's favor when Weidman went for an ill-advised wheel kick that allowed the challenger to take the champs back.
Yeah, what's Weidman doing throwing a wheel kick?
Scrambling to full mount seconds later, Rockhold unleashed a hellacious barrage of punches and elbows with 30 seconds left on the clock.
He's gonna stop it. Herb Dean's very close to stopping it.
Weidman was doing nothing to defend himself, but Dean refused to stop the fight.
I wouldn't even say that that's a bad stoppage, though, because it's a title fight. Like, there's more on the line, too. You have to, like, really make sure that, like, they're done.
What does it take to stop a fight? Wow.
In the fourth
I don't
round,
necessarily
Rockhold
agree with-
continued his dominance, taking a comprised Weidman down and finishing him with ground and pound.
Cole continuing to punish Weidman. That's it. It is all over.
Unfortunately, the stoppage came minutes too late, and even Rockhold's coach was mad about it.
Shocked that Herb Dean let the fight go into the fourth. Do you think he should have stopped it in the third?
Well, let's put it this way. I was cussing. I was cussing. I was literally just effing pissed, and I'm not really blaming.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Like, we've all seen fighters that probably should have like the ref should have stopped the fight in the third, the fourth, whatever round, and then they allowed to go that extra round. But like that wasn't that bad of a stoppage. Or in this case, he didn't stop it.
Blaming her per se. I'm blaming the way the system is.
Jorge Masvidal vs. Cowboy Cerrone. This was another fight that was dragged on. The UFC on Fox 23 co-main event between the two BMFs should have been stopped late in the first round when Masvidal had his opponent reeling with a flurry of punches, and it appeared that the Cowboy was as good as done when Dean decided to step in. Initially, Dean appeared to have called the fight, but then he signaled the end of the round instead because the bell sounded
I
the
remember
moment he
this.
apparently stepped in to stop the bout.
Masvidal with a flurry here. They round one. Hurts Cerrone. That is it. Herb Dean comes in and stops the fight.
That was so close. That's really hard to call. It looked like he did stop the fight. And I don't think that people would have been mad if it was over, because look at Cerrone.
Or is that the end
He
of
was
the round?
like,
Stand by. That is the end of the round.
As a result, the fight saw round 2, where Masvidal had to punish Cerrone for an added minute before earning the win.
that's okay. This is the fight business.
Another knockdown for Gamebred. Cerrone in a world of trouble here.
God,
Masvidal working the
Jorge was so good.
Now, if you think Jorge Masvidal vs. Donald Cerrone was bad, wait until you see Khalid Murtazliev vs. CB Dollaway. At UFC Moscow in
I don't remember this.
2018, veteran CB Dollaway took on promotional newcomer Khalid Murtazliev on short notice after a couple of pullouts. The newcomer was in control for the majority of the fight, and late in the second round, he unleashed venomous shots on Dollaway, connecting non-stop as the American covered up and offered no resistance whatsoever.
This could be the beginning of the end here.
Big shots here from Muslim. Dollaway's had enough.
It's over.
This is it.
Okay.
Surely this fight needs to
I would agree here. I've never watched this fight, but he's like not even defending himself at all, and his back was turned towards his opponent. Like that was bad. Like he should have stopped that for sure.
stop it.
What is he doing?
Yeah, what the fuck are you doing?
Stop this fight.
What the fuck are you doing?
Stop it to carry on.
2,000 years later.
Oh my god. Okay. No, that was bad.
I think the fight is still
That was
going
bad.
on. I think Herb Dean
That might have been worse than the Lawler one,
not the fight.
honestly.
Dean stopped the fight at the end of the second round as Dollaway struggled to make his way to the corner.
You have to get up. If you don't get up, I'm gonna stop the fight. Are you want to fight? Done? Fight's over.
That should have
Hey,
been
he stopped the
probably 10
fight.
strikes earlier. That was one of the
After like
the latest stoppers I've seen.
30
I
more
don't know
punches
like
to the
Herb
back
was a big
of the
mistake on
head.
his part right there.
In a post-fight interview, Dollaway criticized the veteran referee by saying that he failed to do his job, which was to protect him.
He's
reason for
not
this
even
fight to be
trying to get his
continued.
guard back, Dan. Look at this. He's just laying flat with his...
In all seriousness, though, that's like one of the hardest jobs you can ever have. Imagine trying to save a fighter's life. Like, that's on you. That's not an easy job either. Like, you're right there as these guys are trying to kill each other.
his knee over here. That's not right for CB Dollaway.
Now, a mistake every once in a long while is digestible, but 2 blunders in one night seems a bit too much. Herb Dean had a shocker at UFC Fight Island 3 with 2 late stoppages, which caused the commentary team to call him out and interfere in the fight. The first one involved the heavyweights Tanner Boza and Rafael Pessoa. In the second round, Boza swung a hook and it landed into the eye of Pessoa, who then backed away and eventually fell to the ground. Boza rushed in to finish the fight, and Pessoa covered up as soon as he hit the canvas.
Bosa's gonna get the finish.
Okay, he should have called it like right here.
Thanks to Herb Dean, Boza had the opportunity to land 10 more devastating punches to the head of Pessoa before Herb Dean eventually
That
called off the
wasn't
fight. The commentary
that
team were
bad.
not happy. Francisco Trinaldo and Jay Herbert. The catchweight 160
Maybe it
pound bout
was,
that featured on
but-
the same card as Boza vs. Pessoa was even Stevens going into the third round, with both guys winning a round each. In the third, Herbert clipped Trinaldo with a
Damn.
nice shot, and the Brazilian responded with an overhand left that had more sting in it, which sent Herbert to the canvas.
Damn, that was bad.
The
It's
Brit
over.
wasn't 100% knocked out, but he certainly looked out at the contest. However, Dean had a different view of it since he was up close. Trinaldo was kind enough not to follow up, but after Dean refused to take action, he was forced to add 4 additional shots that weren't really needed.
It's not over. Come on! It's not over.
Stop the fight.
Hey, that wasn't that bad.
Herbert's compatriot Dan Hardy, who was commentating that night, was so mad that he left his seat to confront
These
Dean,
aren't. If
forcing
these are
Dean
the
to come out
worst,
in public
if
to
these are
defend
the worst that Herb Dean's had. Like, he's clearly an elite ref, because I've seen way worse from other refs, like not even close to this. Though that wasn't that bad.
And his decision and react to the negative
So far, there's 2 that were like, okay, come on, Herb.
backlash.
Fight that some people say could have been stopped earlier. I think it was stopped late. By no means was that a late stoppage.
The veteran ref
I kinda agree with him with that.
continued when he officiated Amanda Ribas versus Marina Rodriguez.
An attempt to pass.
Oh! Knockdown for Rodriguez. Ribas nearly out. She is hurt.
She's hurt bad. That's why he must need
It's
to
not
get that
over.
thing.
Herb Dean hasn't stopped the fight. Rodriguez believes she has.
Stop the fight.
Rodriguez was already off
He
to
almost
celebrate,
did.
but she had been brought back to put her opponent out of her misery with a standing TKO.
But he touched her.
Whoa, what a circumstance there.
Oh,
Looked like
my
he made
goodness.
contact with the athlete, but he did not stop
Yes.
the fight.
Oh, better shoot.
Oh, huge right.
Okay, and
Marina Rodriguez has
these are not that bad. Like, they're not that bad. That's not...
stopped.
It looked like the fight was stopped. Then she has to go and finish it again.
Yeah, it was
He
close.
didn't touch him. He actually
It was
did not
close.
touch her.
Well,
Oh,
there
he
was
went
contact.
in, but he went in there like he was going to stop it, and then must have saw something in the eyes of Ribas and let it keep going. But
Speaking of which, Alexia Oleinik vs Chris Daukaus comes to mind. The 2021 heavyweight clash between an OG of the fight game and a rising star lasted less than 2 minutes, with both men swinging and missing early.
These are like close. They're all like, okay. Like, there is 2 so far that I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? But these are all relatively close. Could go either way. You could let it go or stop it.
In the second, however, Daukaus connected with a big right hand, followed by elbows and knees, and then at least 35 unanswered shots.
Go to the body.
Jock is swinging away and finding a home here.
This could be the end.
Oleinik covering up.
Before Dean stepped in to
Okay.
stop the fight. To make matters worse, Oleinik even momentarily looked at Dean while taking those punches, because even he was wondering what was stopping the veteran referee from pulling the trigger.
Can he
This
take?
is it. Oh. The knee actually helped him there.
That's it.
Surely there couldn't be anything
That's a good
worse than that,
stoppage.
right? Mike Pyle
Sure,
versus
he could have
TJ
stopped at
Wahlberg.
like
Herb
he
Dean
could have stopped at like 3 to 4 punches before. But like, that's like a game of inches.
was at it again, officiating the fight between TJ Wahlberger and Mike Pyle at UFC 170. In the third round, Pyle landed a knee and proceeds to wrap up a guillotine on Wahlberger. He uses it to get into mount and land devastating elbows to Wahlberger's face.
Damn, that was a
Wahlberger doesn't
bad
look
elbow.
like he's defending himself and gets annihilated on the ground.
Oh man. Elbow to the head.
Herb needs to stop this fight.
With Pyle landing over 15 total strikes without
Okay,
any
this is bad.
response.
This fight is over. I don't know why Herb Dean is not stopping this fight.
Dean
This
was
one's
just
bad.
watching the action, and Joe Rogan
This
had
one
no
is
idea
actually
why
bad.
This fight wasn't stopped a lot sooner.
What are you doing?
Dean has seen enough.
And then a year later, Dean
3. How many has he shown? 3 so far have been bad. Trace.
produced a deja vu moment while officiating Joe Lozon vs Takanori Gomi. Gomi
He was taking elbows to like the back of his head. Like, that's his crown. Like, that's not good, man.
started the fight with a flurry of punches, and he appeared to be the quicker of the two. But all Lozon had to do was secure a takedown, and that's exactly what he did halfway through the first round. Once Lozon secured Gomi's back, he started punching his face relentlessly. After nearly 15 strikes, Gomi went limp, and Lozon stood up to celebrate his victory. Interestingly, Dean hadn't stopped the fight.
He's got him flattened out. He's getting pounded.
Let's see.
Hard shots from Lozon.
He's in big trouble.
out.
He may finish
He's
it
out.
right here. Hit is all over.
After
Oofta.
examining Gomi from up close, he let Lozon have his moment.
Lozon finishes Takanori
Is it
Gomi.
late?
There it is.
Oh, wow. It wasn't even done. Lozon called it himself. It was weird because Herb Dean didn't officially call it, but Lozon called it.
So these were 10 of Herb Dean's worst stoppages ever. Which one was
Sure.
your absolute worst? Let us know in the comments below.
I would
Staying
say 3. The Robbie Lawler one. I don't remember the other 2 off the top of my head, but there's 3. There's like 3 out of those 10 that were like really bad, where I would have been like, what are you doing? All the other ones though were like, they're close calls. Like that's a very fine line. At the end of the day, I don't think that Herb Dean is a bad ref. He's actually, in my opinion, the best ref that the UFC's had over a number of years. Who else? John McCarthy. He was probably my favorite ref, other than Herb, until he retired. But nah, Herb's a awesome ref, and there was like 3 bad ones in this video. I wouldn't consider the rest like terrible.